The Daily Mail is being sued by one of their former journalists, and Leslie Sloane is being called out for coordinating with the Daily Mail. The lawsuit states that the Daily Mail sought to control what one of its own reporters could say in connection with a federal litigation, and retaliated against him when he repeatedly objected. The plaintiff objected to signing a sworn declaration that he reasonably believed contained false and misleading statements. The lawsuit further alleges that James was fired 11 days after receiving his own independent counsel. Months earlier, before that, he had been SH'd by his supervisor. The SH incident happened around December 6, 2024, when Mr. Ellis, the supervisor, suddenly summoned the plaintiff to his office and falsely accused him of scratching the elevator door, which he claimed that the repairs would be over $2,000. The plaintiff denied ever scratching the door and insisted on having the security footage pulled up, to which that request was denied. Later in the day, Mr. Ellis admitted to the plaintiff that there wasn't enough evidence to prove that he did it, so he's off the hook. Later that evening, the Daily Mail had a holiday party, to which when the plaintiff arrived, his supervisor came up to him, looked him up and down, and then flirtatiously stated, "I'm still trying to figure out a way for you to repay me for that elevator." Here's where Leslie Sloane comes into all of this. They stated that the plaintiff's success depended on cultivated relationships with celebrity publicists and industry sources, one of them being Leslie Sloane, who had previously provided the plaintiff with information leading to numerous exclusive stories. After he had been assigned to dig into the premiere drama, Mrs. Sloane described Mr. Baldoni as a source of the on-set conflict. She never stated that Mr. Baldoni had SH'd or SA'd Miss Lively. The reason that James had gotten dragged into the it ends with this lawsuit is because 2 days after the New York Times article dropped about Justin Baldoni, he had texted Melissa Nathan, quote, "Miss Sloane said that the whole cast hates Mr. Baldoni. This has nothing to do with Miss Lively, but now she's saying that Miss Lively was SA'd. Why wouldn't she say anything about that then?" Because he had a conversation with her, and at no point did she ever say anything about SA, SH, nothing. It was all just an error, but I feel like regardless, he still would have gotten dragged into this because this was one of the reporters that had actually talked to both parties instead of just one side. After the text here, the plaintiff stated multiple times in other text messages to Melissa Nathan and Brian Friedman that Leslie Sloane never mentioned anything about SH. Confirming that that one text was just an error. He didn't actually mean that. It was SH. But regardless, he states that Miss Nathan stripped the surrounding context and falsely alleged that, per the plaintiff, Miss Sloane had told him that Miss Lively had been SA'd. But that wasn't the case. Even when you see the text message, that's not what he says in it. He is saying in the text message that at no point in his conversations did she ever say anything about SA or SH. In April 2025, Leslie Sloane's counsel served the plaintiff with 2 subpoenas and the Daily Mail with a subpoena as well. The Daily Mail's in-house attorney, Beth Lobel, told the plaintiff not to get his own lawyer because doing so would betray the company. And she also further warned that it's best not to have emails creating a record. Even the deputy editor likewise instructed the plaintiff not to receive outside counsel, stating that it would be a mistake and he needed to put the company first. For the rest of the month, the plaintiff endured statements pressuring him into believing that he was responsible for the legal expenses of the Daily Mail. Despite the plaintiff's explicit objections, the Daily Mail coordinated with Leslie Sloane's counsel to create the declaration they wanted the plaintiff to sign. So Leslie Sloane was working with other people in the background to have them say things that were anti-Baldoni. James continued to refuse to sign the declaration, and then he found out June 5th, 2025, that if he signed the declaration, Leslie Sloane would withdraw the subpoenas, except for the communications with Brian Friedman, reinforcing the plaintiff's beliefs that the declaration was being used as a negotiated litigation device rather than simply being a truthful recollection of what happened. Literally the exact same thing that Blake did with all of the content creators. She was trying to weaponize the legal system to get her way. James stated, "My gut says no, but I'm being yelled at for not signing it." Again, he's being told, "Sign it." The plaintiff responded, "This is so ridiculous. No one wants to understand or listen to why I don't want to do it." He reluctantly signed the declaration June 5th, 2025, around 3:30 p.m. He notes that he had his colleague next to him, Miss Cooper, and stated that immediately before signing it, he wrote, quote, "I don't feel completely comfortable in doing this," on a piece of paper and placed it next to the declaration before executing it. Then he showed both the note and the declaration to his colleague. So there's a witness saying that no, he signed this under duress. He did not want to sign it. Literally the exact same day, just a few hours after he signed the declaration, he's finding out that the Deadline is working on an article about his declaration. How did they find that out, Leslie? He immediately reports it to the Daily Mail's legal team, trying to get them to step in. However, they never reached out to the deadline. Then, major news outlets, including People, Page 6, publicized stories portraying the plaintiff as having misspoken and characterized the declaration as an admission of error. He stated that Ms. Sloane sending this to various outlets, which are spinning this and painting me as a liar. This man was so stressed out, his therapist recommended he take a week of medical leave, to which he did. The plaintiff received another subpoena from Brian Friedman, and the plaintiff advised the Daily Mail that he did want to speak at a testimony. Nevertheless, the Daily Mail's counsel prepared and filed an objection on the plaintiff's behalf, overriding the plaintiff's decision regarding his own legal representation and participation in a federal litigation. James obtained his own legal counsel and let the Daily Mail know that anything beyond this is retaliatory, to which they immediately fired him. Then, April of this year, they removed all references of him, deleting his entire work from the past 3.5 years. The truth always comes to light. What do you guys think of all of this? As always, this is all alleged, so take it with a grain of salt and follow me for more.